Hi everyone, so there's some news this week about Julian Assange. Now, Julian Assange, as we know, as you probably know, he's been locked up in the Ecuadorian embassy now for over 6 years, and about 2 months ago he had his internet cut off and his right to visitors cut off. Essentially, he's in solitary confinement within that embassy right now, only speaking to the people who work there, and his only visitors being his legal team. Now, the timing of his silencing was curious to me. It was just before he was due to testify about the Cambridge Analytica case. It was just after he had told Adam Schiff through, I think it was through Randy Credico, although that might be wrong. He was told that, listen, I can prove it was a leak and not a hack, which would just make this DNC lawsuit just fall apart at the seams if he can prove it was a leak and not a hack. And he said he's willing to give that information over once he's free. So he's being locked up for political reasons. He's a political prisoner. Make no doubt about this. He's a political prisoner. This has got nothing to do with this, him fleeing bail on these stupid, preposterous allegations from these women in Sweden. That was basically a love triangle. It's wrong that he's being locked up, and you should be as outraged as me, and get in touch with whoever you can to change the situation. Now, Alan Duncan stood up in Parliament recently, this week, and he was asked about Julian Assange, and he made this statement.
My honourable friend has raised on a number of occasions the issue of Julian Assange, who of course is in the embassy of his own choice. We are, however, increasingly concerned about his health, and it is our wish that this can be brought to an end, and we'd like to make the assurance that if he were to step out of the embassy, he would be treated humanly and properly, and that the first priority would be to look after his health, which we think is deteriorating.
So, on the surface of it, that seems good. It seems like, hold on a minute, they're going to let him get his medical treatment. But remember, this is Alan Duncan. Okay, things are never as they seem with Alan Duncan. Let me prove it to you. This was what he was talking about on Have I Got News For You, when he was asked to respond to the allegations of him taking advantage of the government expenses when the expense scandal was happening a few years ago.
So do you claim for a second home, Alan?
Indeed I do.
Right, so you're claiming expenses on a second home when you have 3 and you've got an income coming in from it.
Fabulous system, isn't it?
Yeah. You don't feel that's a bit dodgy?
No.
Alan Duncan will pay back nearly £5,000 for gardening expenses.
Well, actually, it was the maintenance, not the gardening, but that's not the point. The whole House of Commons, I think, has to apologise for the mess that has arisen. These allowances cannot continue like this. They've got to be replaced or changed or abolished. The House of Commons is in such a mess, these allowances have got to stop.
Right, so there's Alan Duncan for you. That's the sort of moral standing that guy has got. And it's important to note here, although he said that if Julian Assange was to leave the embassy, he will be treated humanely there, what he didn't say is he wouldn't be arrested. And that's how I'm reading into that statement. I'm reading into the statement, yes, he will get medical assistance if he leaves the embassy, but he will also be arrested, and then we'll get an extradition request from the United States to say that he's on terrorism, cyber terrorism charges or something like that, and they'll extradite him. It's pathetic, is what it is. It's pathetic. Julian Assange is locked up for one reason and one reason only. He's the best journalist in the world. He does the job of a journalist better than anybody else. Not only is everything he and WikiLeaks have ever published been proven to be true, but he's also managed to protect every source. The only sources that have come out that were giving documents to WikiLeaks, such as I'm thinking Chelsea Manning especially, It wasn't WikiLeaks that caused them to get found out about by the American government. That was through a different contact that Chelsea Manning had. So WikiLeaks protect their sources, and everything they publish is factual and damning on the governments in this world. That's why he's locked up. And like I say, the timing of his being locked up, it's really curious to me. It was just before he was about to testify to Cambridge Analytica. It was just before the Skripal case fell apart at the seams. It was just before 3 countries bombed Syria based on very flimsy evidence. And I'm sure that Julian Assange and the contacts that they would be sending, the details that his contacts would be sending to him, would allow him to maybe shed more light on it than we already have. And what we've already shared about those things is extremely damning. So, and I'm speaking specifically about independent media here. So, this might sound good. Don't be fooled by it. My first instinct was there, well, that's good, but it's not until I actually listened to the wording of it that I thought, right, okay, this just means he's going to be arrested and then treated. Which is wrong. It's cruel and unusual punishment. We need to free Julian Assange. He needs to be free. He's a journalist. This is America's doing, and it's America. It's a violation of the First Amendment rights. It cannot be any clearer than this. And how people are not standing up for him in America. I'm speaking specifically about not just the politicians who claim they are all for the amendment when it suits them, for instance, gun rights, but also the Democrats as well. You've got to come out in favour of Julian Assange. A working press, a working media, an independent media that holds the powerful to task is imperative. It's imperative for a democracy to work. We need to free Julian Assange. If you haven't done already, please contact your representative and tell them. We really do need to start trying to put as much pressure as we can on both the UK and the US government about this. It is unacceptable that he is being treated like this just because he's better at his job than anybody else in the world. If you enjoyed this video, please click the bell down there and subscribe so you get a notification of next time I drop a video. Also, I can't do this without your help, so if you can afford it and you enjoy my videos, please support the channel by subscribing to my Patreon. Link is down there. You can do it for as little as $1 a month, and it really does help. If you can't afford it, that's fine. Please share my work and talk to other people about the issues that I bring up. Thanks very much for your support. Until next time, peace and take care.